Hello traders, it is Thursday morning, October 24th. We are 40 minutes into trading. Let's take a look at the market. We've got this nice little uptrend here after breaching a downtrend here. So the momentum is starting to build to the upside. We have to watch this little trend line right here. We need to make sure that that's holding. You can see how the market opened above the prior day's high, and look what's happened so far today. We'll zoom in on the 5-minute chart. These are long red candles. That is a sign that any rally here is probably going to be a decent short. So I would favor the short side in the early going. We filled in the gap, and we may even test this low from yesterday, but we should be able to find support there. The overnight earnings were decent in general. We've got Amazon and Intel on deck tonight. There's not a lot of market direction. There's not a big tailwind right now. I feel that the support will be there for the next week because we've got the FOMC meeting. There's a dovish bias in the market, feeling that the Fed is going to ease another time this year. We have Brexit being resolved favorably. We've got a possible mini deal with China. So the bid should remain strong. We want a pullback because then we can get more aggressive with our longs. So I think that given the early price action today, you need be a little bit cautious early on, and then as the bid starts to establish itself, then we can start taking a look at some of the longs that we have, trade that relative strength. So let's go through and take a look at what we've got. Before I do that, everything that you see today is available at www.oneoption.com. Option Stalker is the platform that I use to find all of these trades. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. That way I know the content is good and I keep doing things that are resonating with you. Also, if you're an active trader, subscribe to this YouTube channel because I'm going to be posting these videos every morning. Try and get them out an hour before or an hour after the open, and I will be providing actionable stock trades. So right now, we've got a couple of tails under body here suggesting a little bit of a bounce might be coming. But again, any bounce that we get, once that bounce stalls, that will be a shorting opportunity. And what you can do after a couple of bars is you can set an alert line that starts to track the market higher. When that is breached on the downside, then you know it's time to start looking at some of your short trades. So let's go in and take a look at what we've got. I really want to focus on earnings, so I'm going to go right to bearish. And I'm going to go after earnings. These are the weak stocks after earnings. I shorted 3M right out of the gate this morning. I've got a couple of alerts on it, and I shorted it right about there. Took over 2 points out of that one. Very nice. I do still like 3M as a short. So that is going to be a short candidate. And we'll go to the daily chart. You can see stock has been weak. It's been bouncing off that 100-day moving average. It pokes through the 100-day moving average. Earnings today before the open. That's why the B, bam, right below the 100-day moving average. This is a good bearish call spread candidate. Use that 100-day moving average. I would sell it ASAP. I believe that resistance is going to hold. And I also like this stock for a short day trading it. So, boy, I'd like to see a little bit of a bounce. Maybe it'll get a little bit of a bounce with the market. And let's take a look at the SPY and see what it's doing. This is going to be a good short in here on any kind of bounce. I'm going to put up my 10p indicator. Yesterday I told you the market was poised for a bounce. This is when I recorded. I told you we had the cross. There's your bounce. Told you this is a predictive indicator. It is fantastic for trading the S&P. It took me many years to develop. Look at this cross right here. Not down here, right here. It's telling you be careful. Gorgeous cross. We get the ensuing market decline. Oh yeah, look at this cross late in the day. So these deep troughs, look at that cross right there. Boom. 10p is the indicator. You day trade S&P futures, you should really be subscribing to Option Stalker because this is the only indicator I use. It's the only one that you need. Taken years of development and I've made it super, super easy to read. So anyway, we've got a little bit of a market decline. 1OP needs to come down into this trough area, and then it needs to cross for us to even want to go bullish. So I think there's still a lot more work to do on the downside, especially after this bearish pattern here. So continue to look for those bearish trades. Twitter, how do we trade this? Stock very weak after earnings. Click alert. Place your alert line there. Place your alert line there. Now it's going to track the stock higher and higher. When it finally runs out of gas and it breaks this trend line, I'm going to get an alert. Then I know it's time to short. That's how we do it. And here we've got Ford continuing to sell off. Let's take a look at that daily chart. And it has broken down below this trend line right here. So that is very bearish. I'm going to go into heavy selling search. McDonald's looks like a good short here. Love McDonald's. That makes the list. Short McDonald's. Love that. Look at the breach below the 200-day moving average after earnings. Okay, we're going to see this on another search probably as well. Nike I highlighted yesterday. Love that short yesterday. Man, did we make nice money on that. And it looks really weak again today. So I don't know that I could short it right here. It's getting a little bit parabolic on us. So I would like to know when the stock bounces. All right. If it bounces, I'm going to try and draw a trend line. That might be a little bit too steep of a trend line. I'm going to key on that price level right there, that horizontal price level, that open from that bar. If it can get above that, I may have a decent little bounce that I can short. Hog. I am short this right now. I got shorted right up in here on in the chat room this morning. I love it. Look at it pull back. Here's why I like it. You got this big move higher yesterday, or excuse me, 2 days ago. Selling yesterday, selling today, and it takes out that open right there from the gap higher. That to me is a short. And I look for those all the time. And we should see some follow through on hog. This also is coming up on our heavy selling search. Very, very easy for us. Relative weakness. We can go right in and start taking a look at some of the relative weakness here. CI, we've liked it for days. It's been a good one for us. I'm just going to click through a few of these. UIL actually was pretty good today. So I'm going to go into Pop Bear. You don't even need to run your own searches. You go in here. These are all the searches you need. I've already got some excellent candidates. FTI, that is super weak. Breaking that, breaking horizontal support right there. So visually, look for these setups. eBay. Here's another tool that we have. eBay, getting ready to take out the low of the day. That's probably going to be a good short here. I would short it right here, and I'd use that as my stop right there. So there's your opening price today. We're taking out that low. Watch, eBay will be a good one. Now, how do we know if eBay follows through on an earnings reaction? We click E-reaction in the platform. There's eBay, and there's what it's done the last 4 times that it's reported earnings. So once it establishes a direction, it tends to stay with it, at least for the first 2 hours. See that? We look for these patterns. There's another tool you can use, pre-earnings options. All of these companies announce after the close today or before the open tomorrow. This is your last chance to trade the stock before earnings. Here's the expected move for Intel. Here's the average move for Intel. Here's the number of times that the stock has exceeded the expected move, about a third of the time. You can also see the option implied volatilities and the option liquidity. Twitter has breached below a trend line. I drew a trend line on Twitter, so we'll see what's going on there in a second. If you are a earnings trader, you like to buy straddles or sell straddles, this is what you want to use. PBR. There's no times that it has exceeded the expected move in the last 3 years. Well, if you're a premium seller, that's a pretty dang good candidate to pick from. I'll see if I've got anything else that pops out at me right here. Anything with big surprises. AUY, not bad. I'm not sure. The option liquidity is pretty decent, but you can see here that it has a tendency to exceed estimates. If you're a premium seller, you like to sell straddles, you want to go right into the ones that barely ever exceed estimates. So BUD would be a good candidate for you. That's how we use that resource. I'm going to go back to the chart and let's take a look at Twitter, see what's happening there. So here I set an alert line. I'm waiting for any kind of little bounce. I'm sorry, it's the wrong chart. Looking at Twitter. And there I set my alert line and it's starting to come back below it. So could be a good opportunity. Week after earnings. These are your stocks you want to focus on. IBM, not looking so good here. Got this trend line here that it's breaching today. Some long red candles in here. It's below the 100-day moving average. In my swing trading video last week, I suggested selling these bearish call spreads on that 200-day moving average right when the stock broke down. That's been a good play. I think that IBM sets up well for a short as well. We can go a little bit longer term, and I'm going to set an alert line that goes about like that, and we'll see if that gets breached. I would like that short. So the early going, it's nice to just set alert lines and see what's going on. You've got a nice little alert line you can set right there. Stock breaches it. Just going to continue to go down. Hasbro, I noticed this morning, that looked really weak. Maybe a good short there. McDonald's. Okay, now we're going to have a little bit of a trend line here that we can draw. I'm just going to draw a horizontal one here for now. But yes, I'd love to see that stock go a little bit higher. I think that's going to be a good short. Love it below that major moving average. SKX has been weak after earnings. Don't see much on the daily chart there. All right, so you've seen a lot of the process that I go through. We've got number of different searches right out of the gate we can use. After earnings is one. On the bearish and bullish side, just select which side you want to be on. After earnings, excellent. Heavy selling, excellent. Relative weakness, excellent. These are all great searches. Oh boy, Tesla. This is going to be a short. Tesla below this price right here is a short right here, right now. I would short the heck out of it. So, and I'm going to when I get done with this video presentation. Yes, it's going to start filling in that gap, so this will be a good short. The other search, Pop Bear, excellent for swing trades on the bearish side. And then finally, week after earnings. Those are the only searches that you need. And we have the same bullish counterparts. Heavy buying. I'm going to look down this list very quickly, and I'll show you the stocks from it that I like. Relative strength. This is a great time to find relative strength because these stocks are moving higher when the market's moving lower. So they want to rally. So we'll be looking at some of those. Ring, that's a really nice move higher. And let's put the relative strength indicator up so you'll be able to see that relative strength very easily on a 5-minute chart. When the indicator is above zero, which that's the zero line, very, very strong. This is nice. Market's been moving down. It's been moving higher. Take a look at that daily chart. This has been a flyer here. Nice gap up here. This support here on that opening gap is holding. Couldn't quite get down to it. You can hover over the E. That's your next earnings date, 11/5. Very nice feature. So I like this. I actually like this bounce right here. It could just be a short covering bounce, but it's very close to this horizontal support level right here, and it's going. So I like Ring. RNG gets added to the list on the long side. So I'm going to update my list here, giving you plenty of stocks to take a look at today. And let's go through the list. We don't really need any more candidates. I've got plenty to show you. So the stocks that I like, LVS, long side. We'll go through all the longs first. Love LVS. Show this to everyone right out of the gate this morning. I love that. Whew. Continuing to surge higher, even with the market down. I loved this breakout above that 200-day moving average. LVS. UAL, kind of flatlining. This morning it was moving higher. It's still got some decent relative strength today. I still think it wants to move higher. AMAT was another long that I like. AMAT. You can see how it's breaking out to a new high. Good relative strength. PYPL, PayPal. I like that one. It's starting to back off though. Backed off that 200-day moving average. That could be a good short in here. Look, it took out the low of the day and it took out the open here. So I think you got to be very careful with PayPal. That might actually be a good short. I do like the fact that the stock was able to get through this 200-day moving average early, but now it's backing off of it. So PayPal actually comes off the bullish list. It may be questionable, but it may go on the bearish list. Got to watch the price action from here. McDonald's was a good short. Ring I liked on the long side, RNG. We're not going to focus too much on the longs because, again, I'm more bearish today. We're going to go SPY. See what's going on here. All right, so we're due for a bounce here. We got long tails under body. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've had a number of bounces right in here. We see this 10P indicator coming down, and it looks like it's ready to cross over. We're not going to do anything before it does cross because these crosses are predictive. So it may mean that we are early, but as soon as we get the cross, then we start watching for a bounce. Well, how do you play that? You want to make sure that it's able to get through this little resistance level right here. So you would set an alert. I'm not playing a bounce. I'm playing a short off of that bounce. That's what I'm most interested in. Long red candles closing on their low right out of the gate. This little gap higher is very vulnerable right now. So my assumption is that any bounce will be a fade. Now, if we sit here and we continue to accumulate these bars right here, then I'll probably buy some futures, watch the bounce, take a little profit on the bounce, wait for it to run out of steam, and then start looking for some more shorting opportunities. Overall, the market has not done a lot. So here we are. We're still within the 2-day range. There's the high from 2 days ago. We tested it, couldn't get through that right on the open today. Here's the low. We're probably not going to quite get down to it. If this fails, yes, we could test that, but we're range bound right now. There's no market tailwind, so the best thing that you can do is keep an eye on the market, but focus on these shorts that I'm providing. And the short side, the movement has been much, much better than on the long side. And perhaps that's because stock valuations are stretched. I'm going to give you a couple examples from yesterday. I highlighted BYND. That was a beautiful trade. Look at the follow through we got on the short side. You're not seeing that same type of follow through on the long side. Shop was another one. Started to drift lower, took out the low of the day. Boom. Excellent short right in there. And I had one other. Nike was a great short that I highlighted yesterday, and Snap was another one. Really nice, takes out the low, continues lower. So right in here is where we highlighted Nike. So how would you trade that? Once you get this big sell-off, you don't want to be in the stock this early when it's a pretty stable stock like Nike. So you wait for that bounce, and then you start drawing your trend lines. And that's where you would want to short, is right there on that breach right there. So you draw your uptrend line, wait for that alert signal, and then you're in. So here are the shorts I like. MMM. Ah, and there she goes. She broke down. Never had a chance. Hog. Nice short. Continuing to work our way. I think MSI sets up well for a good short. So there you set your alerts at the low of the day. It's dropped a lot. MCD. I like that short. I like Tesla short. If it's still in that gap, yes, I think Tesla's going to be a great short today. And PayPal may set up for a good short. Let's take another quick look at that. Finding support, but I think it's going to continue to come back and fill in after earnings. Those are your trades for today. Option stalkers, how we found them. 1OP indicator for those of you that trade the S&P futures. I'm going to go in. That's what I'm going to trade right now. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm going to be posting these videos every day. If you want the real-time action, you can come into the chat room and try that out. I offer a 1-week trial. www.oneoption.com. Please give it a thumbs up if you like the content. I will see you tomorrow. Trade well.